What role did communication play in your team's ability to execute under pressure, and what did effective communication look like on and off the field?
To be fair, it was brutal. Like, it was brutal. Like, they just told you, we don't have time. We have a 30-second timeout. We don't have time to sit here and deal with feelings. I have to tell you, you're not getting to the block. You have to get to the block. I think that getting over that being delivered so blunt. Yeah.
Just being very clear and concise, getting to
that was
what's
the hard
causing
part for
the
me,
problem.
I think, because I wanted to feel some way about that.
Yeah.
But after you I think that goes back to what he said about trusting your leadership. The constant communication, reinforcing your communication, saying it clearly, saying it in different ways if somebody doesn't understand, that active listening, and just making sure, checking in to make sure that they understand, I think is probably the biggest part of the communication for me.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think communication's everything.
It's literally win or lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right away, if there was 11 guys on the football field all trying to make the tackle, it would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have to communicate the plays, down to the tactical, whether that's signals, words, phrases, to get the play in.
Yeah.
But then there's that bigger communication picture, which goes back to that relationship building, that team building, where you kind of you vibe together as a unit. I know I got to take this react to the guy in front of me, take this step, leverage on the outside shoulder, because the guy behind me is going to be making the tackle.
Right.
If we were all trying to tackle that one guy, it would be a disaster.
Yeah.
Juke us all.
Yeah, if you don't effectively communicate, then it all starts to fall apart.
Oh yeah. I imagine Greencastle, if we were all looking to, I don't know, get the one job, the biggest contract, it would be a shit show.
Right.
Pardon my language.
No, it's true.
So we all have a job to do and communicate,
Yeah.
And understanding, I think, communicating where we are in the picture.
Yeah.
Understanding what my position is in the larger picture and communicating that. I think that's huge, and I think we do that well here.
Yeah.
I think this is the only company, I don't know, the only company I know that I've worked for other than the Army that has been so transparent about exactly where on the hierarchy I am and how I fit into the picture and how my position makes it successful.
Nice. Yeah, that's great stuff.
And I'll ask this to both of you guys. Were there any rituals, routines, or mindset practices your team relied on to stay locked in before a big game or a moment?
Yeah, athletes are known for being a bit superstitious.
Yeah.
Wearing the same socks every game, or
I definitely washed all of my clothes.
As a team, we would have, you roomed with the same person.
Yeah.
I mentioned coming down the pregame meal at this weird specific, I would say that's a ritual. We knew exactly what was going to be on the tables in front of us to eat. There was a pregame prayer. Everything was the same every time. You get into the locker room, same stretches, I would say.
And if you wouldn't have done one of those things, it would have felt off or
could throw you off.
Yeah.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah.
Down to for us, it was a lot of the same warm up. The warm up was exactly the same. We all walked out in the same order. We approached the court in the same order. We did the same drills to the same music. We had it down to a science. We knew exactly when we were switching to the next drill because of where we were in the song.
It's a subliminal activity to help you just kind of stay locked in and stay.
Yeah, I guess. And I'm just thinking now, I wonder what it would be like if it wasn't like that.
Yeah, I don't know, chaos. Because I think every team that I was on, even when we were, teenagers, we would come up with them.
Yeah.
So it was almost natural to do it. It was a little bit more created once I got, into college and into USA. But even as teenagers, we're creating little hand slaps and handshakes and how, when we substitute out, we had a little routine that we did
Yeah.
when we crossed the sideline.
Yeah.
I can't imagine even doing it without all of that little flair.
Yeah.
It's kind of like your guys' point earlier with like the practicing and the repetition.
Yeah.
Like you can kind of shut your mind off and just execute.
That's
When
what I
you
was going
have-
to say.
yeah,
It
when you
almost
have-
feels like it's designed to just slip you into that subconsciously
Yeah.
without you thinking about it. And I think we probably all have a similar thing that we do in the morning, right? Get up, I grab my Celsius, I go back upstairs to brush my teeth because I
Well, I
can't do
think-
anything without caffeine. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, I think instinctively, like as human beings too, we also don't like uncertainty.
We don't.
You know what's going to happen next. You know you're going to do your pregame prayer, your pregame stretches. You know,
Yeah.
like that gives you a sense of comfort. You know what's going to happen next.
It takes the edge off the nerves for sure, especially
Yeah.
if you're going up against somebody you know is huge. Like my freshman year when I started at the Division III school, I was 17. I started early, and this girl was a senior and already led her team to like the national championship once.
Wow.
And
Oh,
so
wow.
I got to go up against that.
Yeah.
It helps. It helped having the same routine. Like knowing we're all doing the same thing. It takes the edge off the nerves because you're adding in you're adding in certainty, expectation.
Yeah, that's interesting too, because I was thinking about that. If the music changed for your
We'd
workout,
all notice.
yeah, it would just completely destroy your mentality of like when you need to shift.
I don't know
into
that it would
something
destroy it,
different.
but it definitely pull you out.
Pull
And
you
it
out,
would
I'd
take
say that's-
effort
yeah,
to
better
put
word.
yourself back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because it's such a minor tweak to some extent, but like if you're locked in to something like that, especially if it's like a daily routine, and then anything changes, just a minor tweak or something like that. Even it could even be somebody's not there today. You know, it could be a little something like that. It's like this certain person's not there today. I can't do my thing without that person. You know, now you're trying to figure it out. It's seems minor, but it's huge. You know,
You're right. So if
mentality-wise.
like something as
Mhm.
small as just like that song started 5 seconds later than it normally does. Imagine when the entire stadium's lights go out in the middle of a a kick or something,
Yeah.
and then everything just shuts down and grinds to a halt. Like
Yeah.
how much effort it takes to get an entire football team back on page.
Yeah.
When the lights finally do come back on.
Yeah. I've
I
seen
can't
that on
remember
games.
which game that was. But
Yeah.
That was the Ravens 49ers game in 2012. I know
Right.
that because I'm a Ravens fan.
Oh, yeah. Boo.
All of a sudden, wow. Yeah, we had some baseball games where where it rained, you know, and they have to cover their field, and they got to come
Oh,
back
yeah.
out there again, and lightning and stuff, and then they come back out there in the field. They're not the same team that were just hammering it early on.
Yeah.
Now they had to go sit down. Somebody probably drank too much Gatorade. Now they're out there and like, they got stomach cramps, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
Or you
there's
just
so many
cooled
things.
off.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
You just cooled off, so your
Yeah.
muscles aren't in the same
And-
performance space that they were right after you were warmed up while you were in
Right.
competition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Navy played a game. I think it was last season. It was a weather delay. I think it was 2 or 3 hours until the game started.
Yeah,
Wow.
you're cold by then.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
these guys,
Gotta
man, they've been
entirely
in
do
the
the whole
locker room
warm-up
for this
again.
long. They're shot. There's
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
you know.
Right.
So yeah,
Dang, that's wild. Yeah, it's interesting to think of that, you know, because like I think about my daily routine, just getting up in the morning. You know, I have to have my tea. I don't drink coffee because it's disruptive, but I'm a tea guy, so I'll have to have my tea. I go in and out with caffeine if I need it or not. I feel like I'm already jacked up when I'm ready. I wake up and I'm like, let's go, you know. So I have my tea with
I
some
don't know
honey
what
in
that
it.
optimism feels like.
You gotta be. You know, life is short. You just gotta be excited about everything if you can manage it. You know.
I rely on substances to get going.
Yeah. It can be hard to get
Caffeine,
started.
I meant, by the way.
Caffeine, right?
Yeah, let's be specific.
No judgments. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes we need a little bit of extra kick or something like that to get us back on track when things get off.
But imagine
offbeat.
waking up and somebody took your tea.
Yeah. Honestly, like that would mess me up.
Or you
Sometimes
ran
I have
out
to
of- or
leave.
You ran out of honey.
Or ran out of honey. Like, yeah, honestly, like my routine is pretty solid. If I get up too late, you know, and I'm running out the door, I'll forget things because I didn't have my routine, you know. So like that's important in business as well for anybody out there just trying to be a part of a team. You know, just having that routine is important. Is knowing, you know, who you are when you show up that day, you know. And also the emotional intelligence that everyone else has to have when they know that you're off your game, or you know, or vice versa, when you're like looking at
Or when
somebody.
you're on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're like, you walked in and you're like, you're dragging, your hair's not all done. You're just like, you know, you're like,
Stay away from that
yeah.
guy.
you're like, okay, he's slowing down. Something's wrong with him, right? Let's see where we need to pick up the ball or whatever. You know, yeah.